ざますよ。行くでガンス。まともに始めなさいよ。
Hey, now you're a man!
Now you're a
Many man, a man. You are now a man, you're a man.
ナンパス。
Now you're a
お
man.
兄ちゃん。お兄ちゃん。お兄ちゃん。お姉ちゃん。お兄ちゃんの変態。
Live it. What makes a man? Is it the woman in him?
This is Manly Anime for Manly Men, the show that fucked your waifu, so what are you gonna do about it? I'm Jack, and with me as always is my co-host Nathaniel. Nathaniel, how are you doing today?
Oh, about as well as ever.
Yeah? Just pretty good, on and popping?
Fresh and funky.
Oh, wow. Well, you're that means you're closer than ever to becoming Funky Kong, which is can only be good if you think about it.
It's a life goal of mine.
Yeah. We all love Funky Kong. Anyway, on this episode, we're talking about Yuru Camp, or laid back camp, if you're a baka gaijin, as they're called. Have you heard about this show at all, Nathaniel?
Not really anything, but based on the premise, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, as far as I know, the premise is just it's shorter than most of the premises that I've given on this show so far. The premise is just some girls going camping. I mean, they repeatedly go camping. Let's see. This is on my anime list. But this is not a advertisement for them, but it says, while the perfect getaway for most girls her age might be a fancy vacation with their loved ones, Rin Shima's ideal way of spending her days off is camping alone at the base of Mount Fuji. From pitching her tent to gathering firewood, she has always done everything by herself and has no plans of leaving her little solitary world. However, what starts off as one of Rin's usual camping sessions somehow ends up as a surprise get-together for two when the lost Nadeshiko Kamigahara is forced to take refuge at her campsite. So it's about, then it goes on, but you get the idea. It's about girls camping.
And I'm already getting some interest here. Camping alone at the base of Mount Fuji. I didn't even realize that was a thing. So I'm learning.
Yeah. From what I understand, it's supposedly very, as people describe, a comfy show where it's just like, this is nice.
Excellent.
This is nice. What's the Japanese word for the? It's like the shows that like heal the soul.
Right.
I think it's Iyashike, something like
Iyashike.
that.
Iyashike?
Yeah, I think it's Iyashike. But yeah, a healing show. So as I understand, I'm pretty sure it's gonna feel a lot like that. Just watching some girls go out into the world, have fun, camp, sit by the fire, eat ramen. Do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Be like, man, I want to do that.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you, I'm personally I'm in the mood for a nice, chill, comfy show like that.
Yeah. Although I gotta say, this definitely seems like the sort of I don't know if this happens to you, but there are some anime that I watch the thing. It's usually like X group of people does Y activity kinds of shows that I watch this thing and like, I kind of want to do that. And so I feel like watching Yuru Camp is going to trick me into wanting to go camping. And then I'll go camping and be like, all right, I'm not an anime girl. This isn't fun.
Oh, man. I know what you're talking about. You should have seen me when I was watching Initial D, man. I was ready to get out there on the
drift down a mountain. It's like, yeah, I could drift a car. I know how to do that.
I have to drive several hours to get to mountains, but that's okay.
Yeah, we'll do fine. Yeah, I mean, I feel like of all things you could be tricked into by watching an anime, that camping is probably not the worst one for you. I feel like you watching Initial D and then being like, I could race cars, or like watching Golgo 13 and being like, I could become an international assassin. Those are maybe worse. I feel like if we were watching anime for self-improvement, maybe I would watch, what was that? The How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift?
I do not know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, that's one that's on our list. 'Cause
Okay.
it's a show about anime girls lifting weights.
Excellent.
But yeah, this one's about camping. So I have not been camping in maybe 15 years. So I don't know
Not
about
since
you,
I was
but
a child. No.
yeah. I was in the Boy Scouts.
I'm.
And we went camping then.
You
and
made it
blew
to Boy
then.
Scouts?
Yeah, I did.
I got to a little bit of weebelosis where I got, I think.
Okay.
Damn,
Yeah,
you made it to Boy Scouts.
I did. I continued being in the Boy Scouts for much longer than it remained fun.
Got it.
Where I was just sort of there, and it was something to do, and like I had friends that I would talk to. But I think it was like one time where we went to actual Boy Scout camp, and we were like sitting around, and they were like, "You have to go to this dumb fucking merit badge thing or whatever," and I was like, "No, I don't think I do or want to." And so I like skipped class basically. And we hung out and we were like, oh man, this place blows actually. But then that's also where I saw a tree get struck by lightning, which was pretty
Oh
dope.
shit.
Yeah, it was cool. It was great. It was horrifying actually, because it was I was like walking you could only buy shit from like the camp store, you know?
Right.
As we were walking back, it was like raining super hard and there was thunder and lightning, and I was like, this is getting pretty scary. And so we went into like this we went under this tent, and like across the way there was like this big clearing, and at the edge of the clearing there was like one tree that got struck by lightning, and it like went and it was so loud it scared the shit out of me.
God damn.
So,
well,
yeah, it didn't like start
anyway.
a fire or anything, thankfully. But anyway, I don't think that is going to happen in Yuru camp.
Probably not. And I don't know. I'm a fan of the comforts of civilization, but I am definitely looking forward to watching the antics of cute anime girls going camping.
Yeah, while safely inside the comfort of your air-conditioned home. Well, no, not air-conditioned. Never mind.
Yeah, fuck you, buddy.
Sorry. When you said the comforts of civilization, I thought you meant actual civilization, like at my house. Sorry, if this is an anime podcast, I should be doing the Ojo-sama laugh.
Well,
I don't know if I can do that justice. Oh!
I'll accept it.
Was that pretty good?
I'll accept it.
All right, I'll practice in the mirror, and then I'll get back to you next time. All right. Do you have anything else to say before we like watch Yuru camp?
Personally, I know basically nothing about it, so no, I don't. Other than that, I'm looking forward.
I know one of the girls has glasses.
Looking forward to it even more. Then
I saw her in a GIF where she's like, there's two dogs running at her that are on a leash, and one of them like gets. Like stops short because of the leash, and she like smirks. No, this isn't the girl that has glasses. This is a different one. Fuck, I mixed them up. Oh well, it's still a funny gif. It stops short, and then she like smirks, and then the other one runs directly into her stomach and like doubles her over, and it's very funny. But no, that wasn't the glasses girl. That was the one with she has like a big ball on her head, basically.
So
don't worry about it.
So your entire anecdote was pointless, is what you're saying.
You know, I don't like you pointing that out, but yes, if I'm going to be honest, that had no purpose whatsoever, other than the fact that we know that there is camping in it. We know
Let's
that
link
there's
to the scene in the show notes,
even though she wasn't.
Tie it all together.
Yeah, it's an important scene. It's the only thing I know about this fucking show, so you know, why not? It seems good. Anyway, we're gonna take a break, and when we get back, we'll have seen the show. But first, it's time to talk about lesser shows for lesser men. This is the segment where we quickly recommend or condemn an anime that we've seen that we normally wouldn't talk about on this show. Nathaniel, do you have a lesser show you would like to present to the audience?
Well, I recently finished Eye Shield 21, which I talked about in an earlier episode, and so I had a little hole in my anime viewing schedule where I had a long running series going, like a sports anime or a battle shonen or something like that. So I ended up watching, getting back into Slam Dunk.
Okay.
The basketball sports anime from 1994. So Slam Dunk is a sports basketball anime. It's about a hot-tempered redhead named Hanamichi Sakuragi, who is a delinquent and incredibly unpopular with girls, who is legendary for being rejected 50 times in junior high.
Wow. That's quite a few times.
In high school, he joins the basketball team because he has a crush on a girl, Haruko Akagi, who is a fan of the basketball team and the team captain's sister. It's basically him going for, like many sports anime, it's him not knowing anything about this sport and going from scratch to give the viewer a kind of avatar to go along with if they're not familiar with the sport. And as he goes along, he improves more. And I actually just recently got to the first actual titular slam dunk by him in the series.
Oh, neat.
During a game, of course, and one that counted, because there was also one that got nullified by an offensive foul. So all sorts of high drama here, and that actually goes into one of the problems that I have with the show, which is that, obviously, sports anime will have sports in them, and as a sports fan, I don't have a problem with that. But if you're watching a sports show as opposed to an actual sports match, you want to see what's going on with the characters more off the court, you know? And the focus in this show is very, very strongly on the games. Once the tournament starts, there's been almost no quote-unquote filler episodes with practice or anything like that. And so the pacing of it feels very odd to me. You have that motif of continual gradual improvement that you usually see in sports shows, but it's only focused almost entirely, it seems, on sports skills as opposed to developing character or all the stuff that you're used to seeing in a fiction about sports, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's a classic of the genre. I'm definitely gonna stick it out and watch it till the end. But if it's not a genre or anything that you're not particularly interested in, I wouldn't necessarily go out of the way to watch it, honestly.
Okay. Huh. Is it similar to iShield 21 in that if I don't know anything about basketball, will watching this show help me understand basketball?
I would say so, yes. Well, first off, basketball is a much simpler sport than American football in general to understand from a rules perspective. So even if you don't know what you're doing, there are Coach T's basket segments, I think, that'll update you with rules and stuff. And between that and the general ease of understanding the action, I don't think that should be a problem for anyone.
Okay. What we need is an anime that can explain cricket to people, just so that people know how that it's played outside of cricket playing countries. That'd be nice. Anyway, okay, that sounds.
Yeah, I'll just have to read P.G. Wodehouse for that instead.
Oh God. All right. I've got a recommendation as well, as I'm wont to do. And my recommendation this time is Kono Suba, which is short. Oh man, I should have looked this up beforehand. Because man, it is a long title, but in English it translates to God's blessings on this wonderful world. And it's an anime that I like a lot, despite myself, we'll say.
Oh man, I feel you there.
Yeah, Kono Subarashii Sekai ni Shukufuku. So it's an anime that I enjoy, but I do have some reservations on. Usually, we'll say. Mm-hmm. I guess it's I guess I could describe it as a guilty pleasure, kind of.
Sure.
Because there are parts of it that I'm like, oh yeah, right, I forgot about that. That I always, whenever I'm like, oh, this anime is great, and then I show it to somebody, and then I'm like, oh right. But it's this show about this kid Kazuma who's a neat, NEET. I don't think I need to explain that, and because anyone who listens to this show is a neat. And he dies. At first, he thinks that he's run over by a truck, but it actually turns out that he had a heart attack from thinking that he was about to be run over by a truck when it was actually a slow-moving tractor. And now that he's dead, he gets visited by the goddess Aqua. Who says like, tell you what, that was pretty pathetic, so I'm gonna give you a second chance. You're gonna go over to this world that is like a fantasy video game ass world, and live another life.
MMORPG style thing.
Yeah, it is an isekai show. But a lot of the trappings of normal isekai shows are a lot better here because of it is more or less a parody of these these types of shows, which is weird because it was fairly early on before so many of them existed, I think. Which is kind of funny that it foresaw their complete dominance of the anime industry. So Kazuma gets to take one thing with him to this world. And Aqua like sets out all these different like powers and magic items and stuff that he could take with him. But while he's trying to decide, Aqua is so annoying that as punishment, Kazuma chooses her as the object to take with him. And Aqua at first is like, that's against the rules, but then she starts leaving somehow.
Turns
like
out
a
it's
pillar,
not.
Yeah, a pillar of light comes down, and all of the various other goddesses are like, well, have fun, bye. And she's like, no, this is against the rules. And then she gets taken anyway. And then Kazuma and Aqua find themselves in this, in this other world, and they're doing their best to make money because they're extremely poor. And it doesn't help that Aqua blows all of their money on drinking and food at any point, and also gambling. She's really bad, is the thing. Aqua is useless. That is how the show works. Anyway, eventually Kazuma sets up this whole adventuring party featuring him as he's sort of a rogue, but he's mostly just a guy. Aqua, who is dumb, but she certainly is a good priestess if she could stop causing problems enough to use any of her abilities. And Megumin, who is the best character.
Right.
She's a wizard who only knows one spell, Explosion, which causes a gigantic explosion, and she can only use it once before she becomes paralyzed, basically, until the next day. So she's not useful. And then there's Darkness, who's a paladin who can't hit anything.
Super old school Dungeons and Dragons magic user rules right there.
Oh yeah, for Megumin, yeah, definitely. Then there's Darkness, who's a paladin who can't hit anything, but she can take a lot of damage, and boy, does she really, really, really enjoy taking a lot of damage. And it's just about this group of adventurers who feel more like a Dungeons and Dragons party than in any other show, Absolutely. It's just these people that are getting in each other's way for no reason other than then it's in their nature, and they're tripping over their own feet to make fun of each other, and only barely getting along in extremely entertaining ways. I like it a lot. There's
and I'll second that recommendation personally.
It's good. There are elements of it that are like, okay, yeah, we get it. Okay, yeah, come on. Such as we'll say there are episodes where physics are exaggerated when it comes to Darkness, who's got a real honkin' pair of boobs. That part is come on, we've seen this in anime before. This isn't anything groundbreaking. It's not even that funny, but the jokes that go along with it are usually pretty good and well made and entertaining for how bad these people are. So I've compared it before to like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where it's like it's a show about people who are bad and always make sure that they get their own comeuppance for being bad.
Yeah, it's certainly not the same style of humor exactly, but that core concept there's definitely a similarity.
Yes, yeah. So I don't know. I enjoyed it. Season 3 when I hope soon, because I've lost all hope basically. Oh man, movie was pretty good.
Yeah,
we watched that together.
We sure did
in the theater. Ooh. Anyway, so yeah, that's my recommendation. All right, we're gonna be right back, and we're gonna when we get back, we'll have seen Yuru Camp, and that's gonna be great. Again, and we've seen Yuru Camp. Nathaniel, what did you think about Yuru Camp?
Oh well, I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
After the past couple shows we've been watching harem comedies, it was nice to get back into just a nice quiet hiyashike.
Yeah, it's and how powerful of healing anime this was, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, this was also. I don't think New Game was a harem comedy, but you know that we skipped over that, I guess. But yeah, man, this was so good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone has ever said or shown me like pictures or anything that have made me want to go camping.
I feel you.
This made me want to go camping.
I felt the same way, and
yes,
and yeah, I'm not a fan of camping personally. So.
Yeah, I am not really a camping guy either, but this made me want to go camping, which actually leads me into, I told you off the air that I had a new segment idea, and that I was going to spring it on you. This is my new segment idea. Called 3D Guys Do Cute Things.
Okay.
Where if we watch a Cute Girls Doing Cute Things show and the spirit moves us to do that thing and then report back.
I see. I like
so
it.
You don't have to do it, but if I can get my hands on some camping equipment and I don't have to pay for it, because like if my parents have it or if I can get it for cheap or something like that, because I'm not gonna fucking buy a tent and a sleeping bag and shit just to go camping once as a goof and then probably not like it. But if I can do that, I will go Rin style solo camping.
All right.
And fucking cook food on the fireplace, or maybe boil water and use it to make ramen. And then I'll report back, and we'll see if 3D is as good as anime.
Okay. I think that's a great idea. So stay tuned, listeners, and maybe we'll be able to report back on our experiences.
Yeah. In this case, though, it really matters whether I'll be able to get camping shit, you know?
Right.
Because I guess if I could get a 980 yen tent like they had in the show. Anyway, so that's my idea. So we'll see. But anyway, this was a really good show. I liked it a lot. It was just so solid. of it's just a solid block of like, yeah, I love that this is happening to me. You know, if that makes any sense. You could just let it sit there and wash over you and watch people do fun things that they care a lot about. But they were like good jokes as well, which I think is important for this type of show.
Yeah, yeah. I would say one thing that I noticed as a standout in the show is if you like watching anime with lots of delicious looking food, there's a lot going there, and they go through showing the process of cooking it. And so personally, I'm more into cooking than camping, and so that aspect of the show really appealed to me.
Yeah. It definitely. It seemed like every episode, or every couple episodes at least, they're like, and now we're going to show in great detail how to do this, you know, this specific food that they're eating. It was very there's a lot of detail in it.
I really think that you could actually use those segments as a recipe and make the food based off it. They go into enough detail for that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's generally because it's a show about camping, it's generally stuff that you can make while camping that is like fairly like, all right, put everything into a pot and then cook it for a while and then that'll be fine. But the fact that it's like, all right, cut up this and that and then pour this in and make sure to simmer for this long and then put this in, you could definitely use it as a recipe.
Yeah,
which is funny. Yeah, in addition to making me want to go camping, the show also made me hungry.
Oh yeah,
a lot of times. So
yep, wanted to lick the screen.
Yeah, they really made they animated the meat and soup and stuff all very very well, honestly.
Yes.
The another thing that I noticed that I really enjoyed about it was the music. Not even the opening and ending. We'll talk about that later. But the just normal during the episode music is all like fiddles and flutes and acoustic guitars and it was all very like, I don't know, it was just fun, really well done. It fit the sort of landscapes that they were showing us of like Mount Fuji and on tops of mountains and all this different thing.
Yeah, it felt very peaceful, laid back track.
Yeah. And free and
some
open.
With more energy than other, but in general, it has a real laid back feel that complements the camping in the show. Yeah,
which was I don't know. There's so much to like about this show, Yep. I thought the characters were pretty okay as well. Like specifically the two main ones, Rin and Nadeshiko, were both very good. I felt like the other members of the outdoor, camping club didn't get maybe quite as much focus.
Yeah, not quite as much. It's it really fleshed out the relationship between Rin and Nadeshiko more for them.
Yeah. I think Aki got like some narrative sort of focus, but Aoi, the last one, definitely did not, which I felt like is not to her character, but it's fine. It's in a lot of ways I feel like it's definitely more laid back and relaxing to watch than K-On!, but it feels very cut from the same mold.
Yes.
Of like a group of girls and they all have these sort of contrasting personalities or like interlocking personalities with with a club advisor who's not particularly responsible, and they go off and do their own thing. They have their thing that they do and enjoy. But it felt a lot more of like a slow burn up to that point,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I liked this a lot. I'm the one thing I'm struggling on is if I enjoyed this more than New Game, which is my current favorite, I think, of the episodes or the series that we've watched so far.
Okay.
I'm not sure because I really enjoyed New Game.
Personally, I still think Mitsubishi Colors has the first spot for me.
Yeah. And this is not gonna knock it off, I assume.
Nope, not quite.
It's good though.
Oh yeah.
I did want to mention one thing that I really didn't like. This is like my only like glaring negative about the show.
Okay.
And actually, I'm wondering if you can guess what it is, because it was extremely obvious to me.
I'm not sure what you're driving at.
Okay.
What is your problem?
Well, you said the word driving. My big problem was the horrible CG cars. They were so noticeable. And I don't know, they just stood out so much, and especially because Rin drives her scooter around a lot, and that was CG. They just looked so like weird and floaty and not
okay.
Not real, you know.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, because it definitely was noticeable, and normally that really bothers me, but for some reason it didn't for me in this show anyway.
Interesting. Yeah, because it really bothered me this time. I think it was because there was such a massive contrast between these like weird CG cars and then the beautiful like backgrounds and all this sort of, you know, pastoral imagery that they had in and around the show. That it just didn't really fit, you know? And I found that really jarring for some reason. And I thought you would back me up on this, but apparently not. Apparently you're a fucking CG apologist now.
Whoa, you take that back, motherfucker.
See, I knew that would fucking you know, make you mad. All I gotta do is light a fire under your ass. Which is appropriate because they taught us how to light fires in this show.
They did.
Yeah. And make a log candle or whatever. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about Yuru Camp before we move on to our other segments, or is that mostly it? I mean, I feel like there's not that much to say about this show because of how much of it is like atmospheric in nature.
It is. There's a light plot concerning Rin Shima, who is the not a member of the outdoor club, and generally prefers solo camping. And so there's sort of an ongoing storyline about her, the club trying to recruit her and her becoming more open to camping with other people. But it's a very, very loose sort of plot, I would say.
Yeah, it's not like, you know, there's a lot of events in that plot. It's just something that happens gradually because Nadeshiko is so active about like trying to get everybody to camp together and is just so passionate about like being like, oh, let's do this, and next time we should do that. And then Rin just sort of can't help but be like, yeah, okay, fine, I'll think about it. Although it does take her a long time to actually like end up camping with everybody. It's like she only does it once at the end of the show.
Yep.
So
I also thought that it was interesting that the show specifically focused on cold weather camping. And so I haven't read the source material, so I'm not sure if the source material also it focuses on that, or if they just chose a storyline during the winter to adapt.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I haven't read the manga or anything, but I feel like from everything I've seen of these characters, it always seems like it's wintertime focused. There may be, for all I know, a sort of, and now we've done winter camping, let's do a little bit about camping in the summer. But I don't know. It feels maybe against the sort of spirit of the show in a way, where it's all about like winter in Japan and being like not solitary, but definitely like the quiet and like in a sort of group that is separated from others. You know, it's like I feel like if stuff took place in the summer, there'd be like all sorts of
Right,
campers,
right.
and then that would sort
And
of
it also
reduce
it
the
also helps
solitude.
to explain why the club has so few members that they've been relegated to a storage closet. I thought,
Oh, yeah.
I thought that
I
was
really
a great,
thought that
a
was
great
funny.
running gag. Personally, yeah.
Yeah, that they're like lined up in this dumb closet and they have no space whatsoever.
It's the shittiest looking room, I swear.
It's great. It almost I kind of I don't know if Rin eventually does join them, or if like Saito, the Rin's friend, joins the outdoor camping club or anything like that. But I hope they don't, so that they have to stay in their hallway.
Yes, I agree. I want them to suffer indefinitely.
Yeah, well, no, it's not that I want them to suffer, although it does help. It's more like I see that sort of shitty club room of theirs as being so like iconic to how their club works, you know. And as they said in the show, they don't really need a big club room because all of their activities are outdoors.
It's the nature of the outdoors club. Yes.
Man, that was a very funny gag though. I especially liked was that bit where Aki was like rolled up in her sleeping bag and like fell onto the floor, and then Aoi comes in and is like, "What is happening?" And she's just like wriggling around in no space whatsoever, and it's just like, "Oh, this is weird." All right, I think that's mostly it for Yuru Camp. So, do you want to move on to the next segment? Should we do the best Girl Olympics or the opening segment?
I'd say
first?
the opening segment, personally.
All right, let's do the opening segment, bitch. The opening segment is the segment where we talk about the opening. How did you like the opening of Yuru Camp?
I loved the opening. The song in particular,
well, yeah.
it sounds like a Japanese cover of some lost Jackson 5 song.
Yeah, I know. It feels very similar.
I can't get that comparison out of my head because it's so spot on, you know.
I think part of that has to do with the way the singer, the way she like delivers a lot of the lines. You know, it feels like it has a lot of DNA in common with that.
The singing, sure, but I was thinking more the
music as well.
instrumentation. Yes.
Yeah, it feels very similar, and which is great, you know. And I mean I think the animation for the opening is nothing to sneeze at as well. It's not it's just interesting sort of camera angles and the way things move in between different like character scenes and stuff like that, and then culminating in this sort of them flying around in their weird like tent spaceship and grabbing onto Rin's hand because they're like bringing her in to be on the with the group.
Personally, I'll sneeze at whatever I goddamn please, but I respect your opinion.
All right, fine. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were so adamant about sneezing at openings. It's like staring into the sun. Whenever you look at an anime opening, it makes you sneeze.
Whereas the ending, on the other hand, I felt like it was nothing to write home about, personally.
I still really liked the ending. I thought the song in particular was just really nice. You know,
It's a good song for the show and for the end.
It was a good thing.
It's just not my style of music, personally. I guess I don't usually go for acoustic guitar, singer-songwriter type stuff, which is what it sounded
that's
like.
Fair.
I generally prefer more complex arrangements. So
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was simple, in a way that really highlighted the way that the like singer was. Her performance I thought was really good for the ending. The animation wasn't anything particular.
It's a good fit for the show, certainly.
Yeah, definitely. It felt. As you say, it's a good fit for the show because it sounded very in line with like the feeling of, of like sort of quiet solitude while camping alone.
It sounds like something that you could listen to as you were nodding off by the fire after dinner, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yes, definitely, which I think is great and really works. So, yeah, I still think the opening is very strong, very catchy. All right, let's move on to the next segment, the Best Girl Olympics, the fight for best girldom among all anime that we watch or care about. So who are you bringing to the table this time, Nathaniel?
Well, there are two that stand out to me. The first would be Toba Sensei, their teacher and advisor, who they initially meet and do not recognize her, and then they find out later that she's an enormous drunk.
Yes, she is.
And I mean, personally, the alcoholic Onesan characters, they're always fun to watch. You know, you get some good laughs out of them.
Yeah, there's always a required Christmas cake who loves to drink in every slice of life show. It always happens.
Yes, and I have my notes here. Teacher is an old maid, as is tradition.
It's got to happen.
I mean, I'm sure there's been anime where the teacher is married at some point, but I can't think of one off the top of my
exist.
head.
Not real. It's like it's the white whale of anime is having a show that has a teacher in a committed relationship.
Right.
Or who doesn't love alcohol.
Not even married, just like dating at all,
or has spoken to anyone, like anyone that they're romantically interested in. No, does not exist. Never happened. I do like Toba Sensei a lot. But the issue with her is there are characters who are the Christmas cake who loves to drink, and then there is Toba Sensei who is that, but even more so, because she drinks a lot. Like, they said that she gets a 6-pack like every day, which is crazy.
Well, and also the first time that they met her at the campsite, she had multiple bottles of rum sitting around, either fifths or handles. I can't remember, but either way, that's a shit ton of rum to have just for a camping trip.
And it didn't seem like they were camping for like that long. Like, I think every camping trip that they show is like one day. So to have to have multiple bottles for one day is pretty crazy. And it's like when she goes on the Christmas camping trip with the outdoors club, she shows up, 1, early, and 2, immediately starts pounding beer and gets drunk. Like, before they're like, oh, maybe we can have Toba Sensei drive us to get this ice cream, and she's already drunk. So it's like, and then she passes out, and then wakes up and immediately starts drinking again, because it's like pouring rum into her hot cocoa. So I don't know. It's a level of loving alcohol that almost made me uncomfortable, but in like a way that was funny.
Right. So yeah, Toba Sensei is a great character, strong contender, to watch,
definitely.
But ultimately, I think I'll have to go with Nadeshiko.
Okay.
And from the moment in the second episode, I fell in love with her from the moment when she got so excited because she saw a Rin that she ran into a window like a bird.
She just couldn't help herself.
It wasn't even a glass door. It was a window.
Yeah. It's you really have to try, or just be like single. She was single-mindedly focused, I guess.
And see that's the great thing about her. She didn't have to try.
No. She's a natural. Yeah, she's a very entertaining like ball of energy that I do enjoy watching, and I definitely called that you would pick her out of the group because she is the Yui of the team.
Yep. You know my taste.
Yes, yeah, yeah. She's, you know, she knows what she likes, and she's a simple gal who takes pleasure in what she enjoys, and has a lot of fun doing it. Although I guess Yui is a lot more like sleepy than Nadeshiko, who is more like hyperactive.
Yeah, she's got more of a Genki personality.
Yeah,
yes.
and they compare her multiple times to a dog, which is very true. She does seem very
it's a really
dog-like.
good comparison.
Yeah. She's always like going like, "Oh, what's this over there? What's that over here?" And then just sort of like running around and barking and not literally barking, but that'd be kind of funny. I'm sure she would do that. Probably trying to talk with Saito's dog or something like that. So that's Nadeshiko is an extremely strong contender, and if I'm honest, I probably agree with you. But if I had to put up a token resistance, I'll bring to the table Shimarin, the other main character, who, if I had to, if Nadeshiko is a dog, then Rin is the cat of the group. Yes, because she's very independent, likes solitude and quiet, just sort of does her own thing and doesn't really, need to be nearby the others, like in direct in a direct comparison to Nadeshiko, who is like thrives off of like getting everyone together and going camping. Rin is just cool on her own.
She's a very very kudere character.
Yeah, but not like unfeeling, or
no, not at all.
She definitely like cares a lot about these people, like her friends and Nadeshiko in particular. But she, like, I don't know. She's a very cool character overall. In a way that I find is kind of interesting for the person who is ostensibly the main character of like this slice of life show, where usually, I guess they're sort of binary main characters, but you get a lot of Rin's like her perspective. And usually, a character that is like the quiet one is not the main perspective of the show.
Yeah, that was an interesting choice for sure.
Yeah, which I think is, it has to do with like the aura of the show, the sort of calming thing. But
right.
But that is not neither here nor there as her character goes. I think Nadeshiko is definitely the stronger of the two because of just how delightful she is.
Okay. Well, that was an easy one this week.
Yeah. But now comes the important question. Is she better or worse than the reigning champion, Hajime from New Game, who is similarly the Genki sort of like character where she loves what she enjoys, and she's not particularly bright, but she makes up for it in sheer enthusiasm and energy. So we've kind of put ourselves into a real pickle here, comparing apples to very slightly different apples.
And we can talk it out, but at this point I am personally leaning towards Nadeshiko, I would say.
Yeah. I could definitely tell your affinity for her. And it is very close for me because I did like Hajime a lot, specifically because of how big of like she's a real big dork, who loves buying anime figures and swinging swords around like a doofus, and really gets into doing the like chants at like tokusatsu shows and stuff like that. And all of those things are extremely charming. But Nadeshiko has this such like a pure joy that she just seems to be made out of. Like she's just a ball of joy that is wrapped in like a person, and is very radiates it very easily onto other things in a way that is very entertaining to watch and makes her a great character. So I'm gonna have to agree with you.
Okay, so we have a new champion.
Yeah, sorry, Hajime, you did good. You beat at least one person, which I think is the best one. Or is the best run so far. I don't know. We'd have to check, but I'm too lazy for that. So, but congratulations, you go off to hell now. And we have our new champion, Nadeshiko Kamigahara, I believe is her last name.
That's Kagemihara. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Kagamihara.
Kagamihara. Yeah, got it in one. Our new Best Girl Olympics champion. And honestly, I think she's a strong contender to continue to be the champion for quite a while.
I'll be curious to see, because I think we've got some strong ones coming down the pike, but she will definitely be able to hold her own, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of things, speaking of things that are coming, next time we're going to be watching Kiniro Mosaic, Golden Mosaic, as it's translated to. Which I've seen in its entirety, and you've seen 3 episodes of.
That's right.
Yeah. But it's I don't want to give too much away, but it's a fun show that I enjoy. So I guess now you don't have to listen to the next episode.
To it as well.
Okay. I'm looking forward to that. So until next time, what?
So what are our ratings for this show?
Oh yeah, right. I forgot. We got to do ratings. All right. So you've got a solid rating for this one?
I would say 4 stars out of 5 for me. It was a great show, lots of fun. I initially had it as a 3 of 5, but as we've talked about it, I realized how much I enjoyed it, and I felt like I had to bump it up a notch.
Yeah, and I would physically threaten you if you gave it a 3 out of 5.
And now the one criticism that I would have of the show is that the girls, other than the main 2 characters of Rin and Nadeshiko, did not feel as fleshed out as well.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely. Although Aki, the one with the glasses, got a little bit, but Aoi definitely felt like she got the short end of the stick. Mm-hmm. And didn't really get a whole lot of characterization outside of having a job and having big eyebrows and having a fang. So,
right,
and a little sister, but that's more or less all we know about her.
Right.
So yeah, that and the CG cars. But there's also a second season coming out fairly soon, which I'm pretty excited for. And I don't know, Aki and Aoi might get more focus in that. So might Saito. I don't know. We'll have to maybe drop in again.
Yeah, we may have to revisit this in a later episode.
Yeah, I think it definitely deserves it.
I would definitely watch the second season.
Oh yeah, me too. For my rating, if we gave half stars, I would probably give it a 4.5. Because it is a 4 leaning to a 5 for me. It's just so solid and pleasant and relaxing, and the characters of Nadeshiko and Rin are really good and interact very well, and it made me want to go camping, which is is the sort of best indicator of whether a cute girls doing cute things show has done its job.
Right.
Yeah. So I'd say 4. We've converged on a 4.
Okay, similar opinions on this show apparently.
Yeah,
okay.
Although I felt like built up to a 4, and I had to like bring myself down to a 4.
Right.
Because I was very enthusiastic about this show, but I think that's everything, right? I didn't forget anything this time.
I don't think you did.
All right, cool. So we'll see you next time, and thank you for doing your part to save anime.